The RG Carr Medical College stood hushed. The clock ticked past midnight, the only sound in the deserted corridors.
Her shift was almost over. Exhaustion tugged at her eyelids, but she had one last task: to retrieve some papers from the seminar room.
Mumita reached the seminar room door. It was usually bustling with activity, but tonight it was eerily quiet. A shiver ran down her spine. She pushed the door open, the hinges groaning in protest. The room was shrouded in darkness, lit only by the faint glow of the streetlights filtering through the window.
Mumita felt a prickle of unease. She flipped the light switch, but nothing happened. The bulb must have blown, she thought. She stepped inside, her eyes struggling to adjust to the darkness. She fumbled for her phone, using its flashlight to navigate.
As Mumita moved further into the room, she noticed a strange, musty smell. It was faint but distinct, like something had been disturbed. A sudden noise from the back of the room made her jump. Her heart pounded against her ribs. She turned sharply, her phone's light darting across the room, searching for the source of the sound. The next few moments were a blur.
Mumita's scream died in her throat. The phone slipped from her grasp, plunging the room into darkness once more. A struggle ensued, brief and terrifying. Then, silence. The only sound was Mumita's ragged breathing, quickly fading into nothingness.
The shadows in the room deepened, hiding the horrific act that had transpired.
A single broken pair of spectacles lay on the floor, reflecting the faint light from the window. It was a silent testament to the violence that had been unleashed. Dawn broke over Kolkata, casting a pale light over the city. At RG Carr Medical College, the usual morning bustle began. Nurses hurried through the corridors and doctors started their rounds.
It was then that the discovery was made.
A cleaner entering the seminar room stumbled upon Mumita's body. She lay sprawled on the floor, her lifeless eyes staring vacantly at the ceiling. Her clothes were torn and bruises marred her arms. The sight was enough to send a chill down the spine of even the most seasoned medical professional. The news of Mumita's death spread through the hospital like wildfire. Grief and shock morphed into anger and outrage. The police arrived, sirens wailing, breaking the uneasy silence that had descended upon the institution. The seminar room became a crime scene, cordoned off with yellow tape.
Forensic teams meticulously dusted for fingerprints and collected evidence.
Detectives interviewed staff, patients, and anyone who might have seen or heard anything unusual that night.
The investigation began, a race against time to find Mumita's killer and bring them to justice. Days turned into weeks, and the investigation continued. A suspect, a disgruntled hospital employee with a history of violence, was apprehended. Forensic evidence linked him to the crime scene, but the motive remained unclear. The case, now in the hands of the court, promised a long and arduous journey for justice. But even as the legal wheels turned, a sense of unease lingered. Mumita's death cast a long shadow over RG Carr Medical College. It was a stark reminder of the vulnerability of women, even in a place meant for healing. The questions remained echoing in the silent corridors. Could this tragedy have been prevented, and would justice truly be served?